was one of our schools, our middle schools. They competed against Emerson Elementary. And Carver won the competition, which means for 30 days, they had no fighting, no bullying, no suspensions, honoring Code 22. And if you go to YouTube, you can Google, so we've been very busy. This again is our billboards that we put up. And this is our students for peace from 2018, 2019. And then we didn't go back into the schools because COVID hit in 2020. And this is the statistics, Robichaud High versus Ecorse High School, the fights that they had when before we got into the schools, it was 47 in Ecorse. At the end of the school year, it was reduced to 23. That means 50% of the fighting stopped. Robichaud had 19 when we checked in with them. And at the end of the school year, it was 12. So what we have here now is that we have a day that is officially a no violence day. Just like we know the 4th of July is Independence Day. Nobody tells you what to do. We're gonna get hot dogs, we're gonna have a picnic. We know that. We know Thanksgiving, we're gonna get turkey, we're gonna have family. Well, our goal is that we want the 22nd to become a consciousness just like that. We want it to be that every 22nd that we, humanity, that we agree that this is a no violence day. We have a proclamation from your mayor. We have a school that's out here in Highland Park that has already adopted it. We were just there. That's how we met the chief. We have wristbands that I'd like to give all of you one today. And so what is the goal here? Well, we have to start somewhere. Violence is a huge animal nationwide, and it seems like that it's bigger than life, but it's not bigger than God. Nothing is bigger, nothing is greater than God. And so if we could decide that each one of us, just imagine on each 22nd that you created something, anything on the 22nd as a nobody. You can have a peace breakfast, a peace lunch, a peace dinner, a peace shopping, a peace bowling party. And so in September of last year, Chief White of Detroit Police Department and Raphael Washington, our Wayne County Sheriff, we adopted what's called now the City in White. So every 22nd, we ask every person to wear white for peace, even if you're just going to Walmart. We want you to put on white because we wanted to create a consciousness when we see people walking around in white that day. And know it's the 22nd, it's given us a consciousness, right? We have to do something to create peace. That is the counter to violence. We may not can stop all of the violence, but when we wear white and we do something on the 22nd, it is at least a protest saying we're doing what we can. We are saying we want peace, we're wearing white for peace. And this is not an event such as me and my organization that we're gonna have this month, we're gonna have this next month. We want this to be just like the holiday that you all, every person, the block clubs say, we're gonna adopt the 22nd and we're gonna do this. We're working with the chief to try to get white uniforms and white shirts for the police officers on the 22nd. And they're in the community reminding them, hey, today is the day of peace. And so it's a small start, but I've seen God do amazing things. And I am a pastor, so I have to tell you my perspective that, you know, he took 12 men and changed the world. And so if we do what we can, whatever little we can, then I know he will do what we cannot. So today, my request is for Highland Park, citizens of Highland Park, to adopt Code 22. We're actually a gang. This is our sign. We have Code 22 gang sign. And we say gang, G-A-N-G is good and not gangster. That's what our gang sign is. But we want humanity. And this is not a black, white, gender, or religious issue. Violence is a human issue. And so our goal is hopefully that Code 22 can become a national no violence day. Can you imagine that every 22nd of every month it's known this is the day of peace? The goal is to get the media to say, because the communities have asked for no violence, we're not going to show any violence on the 22nd. The schools are wearing white, students are engaged in doing things. We're actually in Ken Ross Correctional Facility. where the prisoners have adopted Code 22, and they all wear white T-shirts on that day, and they do push-ups for peace, they play cards for peace, they do things to create a consciousness. And so that's what we're asking you all to be creative. Don't wait for an announcement to come from someone. Create something to happen. If you work, take white donuts to work on the 22nd, to do something to create a consciousness. And it is serious about being intentional, like we're not gonna argue today. Like our husbands and wife, I'm really mad at you, but the 23rd is what I'm gonna talk about, not today. And we'll be surprised if we can just do what little we can, starting with ourselves, wear white, create some event, small or large, block club or whatever, that we can every month become conscious about creating and promoting peace. And at least we are protesting against the violence by doing something.
Excellent.
Thank you. Any questions?
I do.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Linda Wheeler. I happen to be the secretary and sergeant of arms for the Highland Park District. We have a district up here. George Washington Carver, they explained, was once under our umbrella. They're a charter school.
Yes.
Because we were in emergency management, we came out in 2018. We are now a district, okay? So
Okay.
Barbara Preparatory Academy, I'd like to invite you.
Yes.
I've got business cards here too,
Okay.
to speak to our board.
I'd be happy to.
Also to, I love the idea. I can see it all over the world.
That's all I need.
I
is
can see it all
someone
over
with
the world.
vision that we can see
I can
it.
see
As
it all
far
over
as
the
we
world.
can see, we can achieve.
Now,
Amen.
when I was growing up in Highland Park, because Highland Park was a very unique community. you
Yes.
know, And because of that, it's only 2.9 square miles, but I had a private school education, a public school setting. Now, we had church bells. That did a lot for the whole town.
Conscious.
Conscience at 12 o'clock, just like we listened to Martha Jean without a song, the church bells rang all through Highland Park at 12 o'clock. If we can somehow get the preachers back on that,
That's
you know,
awesome.
that brings the vibration of peace
You're right.
throughout the city. That's one point. Also to Spectrum Academy is a juvenile facility here.
Okay.
It's right, just, you can see it if you go out
Behind
the
this
door.
building.
Behind
Yes,
this building, if you
really.
step outside and look, juvenile
Spectrum Academy.
facility. I need you to go there.
I'd be happy to. I am in Dickerson Juvenile Facility every Thursday with the girls. Yeah, and I go in weekly with them. So yeah, I'll be happy.
Do you
Plus,
have
I'm
business
a
cards?
Wayne County chaplain also.
Do you have business cards too?
I do.
Okay, and I do too. I'd like to trade. Okay,
Yes.
because I'd like to, if you can, with your busy schedule. It's so important though. We have a very strong block club. McLean is in the house.
McLean, so on the corner of McLean,
Yes.
not Woodward, but the cross street, across from that.
John R.,
John R. On the right-hand side is my family.
who is your family?
The miners
On McLean?
on McLean. Yes, ma'am.
She's
Big
on
house on the
Deanna.
corner.
Oh, Deanna.
Deanna,
Oh,
well, we call her Deanna. That's my cousin.
yeah, she's at the
Yes,
block club.
And
She's
right
very
across from
active.
her is Bishop
Bishop.
Ricardo. Yes,
Bishop Ricardo Talbot,
yes, indeed.
another active member.
Yes,
So
indeed.
you need to come to our, please.
I'll be happy.
All
to.
right.
I'll be happy. to.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing now. Yes,
Uh-huh.
ma'am.
Do you have yard signs?
You know what? That's
Good
amazing. Did you see them?
No.
Yes, we did. We had tons of yard. Listen, we've been doing this since 2010, so probably everything you suggest we've done at some point. We do have some left over, but that was one of our biggest campaigns that we did in the summer of 2019. That we had 500 yard signs donated and we gave them out and it said this is what the
And I
yard
can
sign
see
says.
that even if we just put it out for that day, take it out, put it up for the next month,
Yeah.
instead of leaving it out all, all month. all
Or put
year.
it on the
That-
21st to
yeah,
remind people. Another thing we did, we asked people to turn their porch lights on for 24 hours from the 21st to the 23rd to remind people about the light and wearing white. And so, listen, if I could just I'm glad you guys are catching this. I'm just the vessel. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. It's no limits to what we can do. And the more people can do, the more things that they can do, the more that we can see a consciousness about peace. So I'll say, if you guys if you want to get the template to this, we'll be happy to send it to you. Whatever we can do to work together to help expand this is our hearts. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Mayor McDonald.
Hi, Mayor.
I just want to know, like, on October 14th, we are I am, and Avalon Village is sponsoring a domestic violence walk. And I would like to know if you would like to come and speak.
What day is that?
That is a
14th.
Saturday, the 14th. We do our speaking between 8 and 9.
AM?
AM, because we want, yeah, not PM.
Yeah.
AM, because it is a walk. and so,
Okay, okay.
If not,
No,
anything that you
would,
have.
we'll be happy. And I do have two spokespersons, representatives that work with me. They just couldn't be with me tonight. So I will do my best to try to be there. If not, I can have a representative that knows and understands how to
Yeah,
present code 22.
domestic violence is one of the violence that nobody really talks about. It's always about the silence. And we want to stop the silence of that.
Yeah,
So, even with that, it works with the code 22. Violence is violence.
violence is violence, and that's exactly right. And that's why our mission is the reduction of crime through the promotion of peace, healing, and positive change. Whatever crime it is, domestic violence, gun violence, we want people to become conscious. Yes, ma'am.
Another question, why the 22nd of each month?
Okay, so it's spiritual. And it was, it's
22,
more,
the
yeah,
number
it's more,
22.
the number 22, and it's more
Explain that,
spiritual than
please.
I thought. So what happened though, I just, when I decided to do the event, the citywide night of peace and healing, I looked at the calendar and I just saw the 22nd as a Friday. It was a random day in 2010. So I said, that'll be a good day to do the event. So we just planned to do it on the 22nd. So while we were at the church, when the event was over, the pastor said, we can come back next month on the 22nd. And I said, okay, we'll do it on the 22nd. But it was after that, that the Spirit of the Lord said he decreed the 22nd as a day of peace and healing for me to declare it. He said, I decreed the 22nd. But then I come to find out that later on, I'm also a certified purpose development coach, and I was paying for my classes. And my coach had, for the Cash App, it was Master Coach 22. And I said, why is the number 22
Following you, right?
in the Cash App, right? What is it? And he said, well, Pastor, he's so sarcastic. Pastor, you do know that the Bible was written in Hebrew and Greek, right? You do know that the Old Testament is in Hebrew. I said, yes. And you do know that there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. And it hit me like, God chose the Hebrew alphabet, which is what the Old Testament is written in, to reveal himself to mankind. In the beginning, God. And it's 22 letters in Hebrew. So significantly to God, this means something. And I've come to find out there's so much more
With
to this
22,
number 22.
yes.
But for me, it was random.
right,
After I obeyed and did what God said, then he began to show me, no, there's more to this. So
got it.
that's what the 22nd
Got
is
it.
about. Any other questions? Thank you all so much. God bless you. I have respect for legal for you. And I'll exchange information. Look forward to being connected to Highland Park more.
Thank you so much. Because I know.
All right, so sounds like a great program. I was glad to attend the meeting at the school. It seemed like the kids were very receptive. I think, if we can have peace 12 days a year, we can have peace 365 days.
Yeah.
So, like the pastor said, we need to start somewhere. And I think it's a great start. So, I'm definitely a proponent of this program. I think it can make a big difference in the schools. And, it seemed like when I was there at the schools, while the, event was going on, it seemed like the kids were actually like excited to be a part of it. Like you could see it in their eyes, and they were having fun, and I had a lot of fun. There were people dancing and just having a good time. So anything, that promotes peace and promotes unity in the community, I'm all for it. So I love it. Thanks again, Pastor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So I also wanted to talk to everyone today about Flock. And Flock is our camera system that we have throughout the city. Some of you may have noticed them, some of you may not. They're just little cameras that are planted throughout the city. And what they do is they read license plates. And some people may say, well, that's a violation of privacy and all of these other things. So I want to assure the public that, one, we're not using it to make anyone's life difficult. We're not using it to make random stops on specific individuals that we're looking to target. These are simply notifications that come to us. And we see these notifications live. And it could be anything from a wanted vehicle, a stolen vehicle, you know, a wanted subject, you know, anything that gets put in the system regarding a wanted vehicle that would be associated with that. And as a result of our cameras being in the city, and they're not all fully installed yet, and they've only been here briefly. We've managed to recover 17 cars, stolen cars. We've made 12 felony arrests. During one of those arrests, we were able to recover a stolen weapon.
That's awesome.
And if you really, if you crunch the numbers, we've actually recovered over $250,000 worth of stolen property.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
I do have to leave and I have the wrong cards, but can I just give my number out publicly
Please,
if
please,
anybody
please.
needed it? I'm sorry. So my personal cell is 313-736-7891. 313-736-7891. I will leave these. These are the cards to our church, but these are not the right cards, so I'll just leave some here. But 313-736-7891, if anybody wants to communicate further about it. Thank you.
Great.
Thank
Thanks
you,
again,
Chief.
Pastor.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, in regards to Flock,
What's the-
I think it's been successful.
what's the-
A lot of that program, actually, most, if not all, the program was paid for through grant funding. And as a result, we've been able to apprehend some pretty bad people. You know, typically, you know, it's not the nicest of criminals who are stealing cars. They're typically stealing them, going off doing things with them. You know, some of our victims, you know, may or may not have insurance at the time. You know, everyone's struggling. And you get your car stolen, it gets tore up, and you don't have the money to repair it. So these systems are allowing us to recover the vehicles before they're abandoned, before they get totaled in a wreck, and return them to their owners. And you know, hopefully in as good a condition as before it was taken. So you know, that's another program that we've started in the city. I think it's very successful. I think it's only going to lead to greater things. And like I said, it's live. You know, if a car goes by, we get notification immediately and we dispatch units to the area. One of the other things we have coming to the city, we've partnered with Heather Fitzgerald and Dr. Dudley from the Youth Connection. And basically what they have is everyone's aware there's an opioid addiction going on. And you know, people are there you know, using heroin and other drugs. And sometimes, you know, anyone can become addicted. You know, you could have gotten injured in a car accident, been prescribed Vicodin. At some point, the doctor could have said, listen, I'm cutting you off of the Vicodin, but yet you're still in pain and you can't get these pain meds. So then you resort to, you know, stealing medicine possibly, or you resort to using, you know, illegal narcotics, heroin, things like that are gonna take away the pain. Can happen to anyone. It's happening to doctors, it's happened to police officers, it's happened to citizens, mothers, fathers, everyone. I mean, it's happening and it's across, you know, across the country. So fortunately, what they have is they have like a youth initiative where we're trying to stop the usage of those type of drugs. And along with that program, we are making available training and Narcan available to all the citizens as well as all our staff. In the event that someone suffers from an overdose, you can administer the Narcan and revive them and live to see another day, basically. The police department's been extremely successful with Narcan. I don't even have the stat off the top of my head, but I know there's literally a couple of weeks that we've saved their lives by administering Narcan. And, you know, they're otherwise good people, just, you know, they're addicted. They're addicted to, prescription drugs and other things, and, they don't deserve to die. And we need to be there to help. So we'll be installing, they're like vending machines, right, basically?
They're Narcan boxes. They call them deluxe boxes across the city so that you'll be able to get them without having contact with the police.
Yeah, so obviously there's a stigma. Some people don't wanna get help from the police. You know, they may have something going on, or they just don't trust the police or whatnot, you know, and that's kind of why we're doing these meetings, to hopefully bring trust to the community and let them know that, you know, the police aren't here to cause you harm. We really aren't. But just because there is that stigma, we're putting these boxes in areas where the police aren't prevalent. So we may do it at the rec center. We've got a couple other spots to where people can go up pretty much anonymously, grab this Narcan and have it available to them in the event that someone overdoses. So you can administer it to them and get them some help. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but if in the event that you're with someone and they overdose and you call the police for help, or you call first responders for help, you will not be criminally charged for calling for help, or, you know, when the police respond. Our goal is only to help that person at the time. So it's important that the public knows that, because, you know, there's horrible stories where people have allowed people to die just because they were scared to call the police. And, or they've drugged unconscious bodies and left them in alleys and things like that because they're scared to call the police or call the medics because they don't want to be associated with fentanyl or whatever's going, you know, whatever drug is that person is ingesting. And it's a shame, really, because all of those people could have been saved by a simple nasal spray. So please, if you know anyone or anyone who, you know, may have an addiction, let them know that Narcan is available for them. And you know, that's the only way you're eventually going to get help, is if you're here to get help. All right, there is something I do want to talk about tonight, and it's a little different. I was going to come here and talk about stats and all of these other things, but there's something that's really bothering me, and it should bother you guys too. There are people who are basically spreading lies about the police department. And the mayor as well. And to be honest with you, I really don't know why. I don't know if I've done something to someone, or if there's something going on. But what bothers me, I don't mind if someone wants to attack me. I'm okay with that. However, the men and women who are risking their lives every day on the streets for every one of you, I believe it's a smack in the face to them. A lot of these people are well, basically they're like family. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. And so for someone to badmouth them, it really has an effect on me. I don't think that, you know, anybody deserves that. You know, if you want to talk about our police department or our services, and you're going to tell the truth, then I can accept responsibility for that. You know, I'll be the first one to tell you our police department is not perfect. Okay, it is not. However, I will tell you with 100% confidence that we work every single day to provide the best service we can with the resources we have, and that the people in this department legitimately care for the people they are representing. You know, some people say, well, you know, that chief's white chief and he doesn't live in the city and all these other things. I have a lot of respect for this city. My grandmother worked here years ago in Sanders. This city means a lot to me. It gave me an opportunity when I first started in the police force. And I managed to move up through the ranks from starting as a desk officer all the way through till now. So for me, it means a lot. I never badmouth this city outside of the city or within the city. Because it means something to me. I'm not just an outsider. This is a home away from home for me. Okay. So I do take offense to when people lie about our police department. And again, if there's something that we've done wrong, please bring it to my attention. That's why I have these meetings. I hope that someone brings it to my attention. I hope that we get an opportunity to fix it and, make it better, because like I said, we're not perfect, but I can't fix things, nor can the officers fix things if we're not aware of them. Okay. So I want to read to you a couple of quotes that were posted, and someone gave them a platform to post this. However, the person who posted it was an individual who remained anonymous. Okay. So I can't even confront that individual and ask them to speak to me directly because they don't have the courage to provide their name when they spread these lies about our department. Okay. So one of them is the Oakland Avenue employees are responsible for 85% of the traffic crashes in Highland Park. That's an untrue statement. Okay. Now, the plaza itself, are there some employees who have been involved in collisions in the city? Yes, that's true. Okay. However, it's not 85%. It's a small fraction. Were some of them serious? Yeah, we all know someone had their house struck by an employee from someone over there. Okay. That's very serious. Is the speeding a problem? I know. Absolutely. Is it all Oakland Plaza employees? No, it's not. We can't just throw false statistics out there. Yeah, I could do that to you guys. But then how would that be fair? What if I said we have no crime in the city? Everything's great. That would be a lie. Okay. I'm not going to sell you the dream. I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And hopefully together we can fix it and make it better. That's all we can do. So to spread false facts to me is a huge problem. One of the other statements that were made, and I quote, they were made aware of police reports indicating cases of sexual assault and physical violence within these facilities. Shockingly, it appears that the mayor has been preventing the police from thoroughly investigating these incidents. So that too is a false statement. Okay. For several reasons. One, we've had one sexual assault case in that plaza, and that was in 2022. 2022. Okay. I believe it was January. We've not had several. And that case was thoroughly investigated. And that case was ultimately, dealt with. Correct. And the current mayor was not the mayor. And however, the mayor, and just so everyone knows, the mayor has never asked me as the police chief to do anything unlawful, immoral, or anything that I didn't feel was best for the department. She has not intervened in this department at all. And just so we're clear, there's not one person in this city or in this country that owns me. Okay? I will make the best decisions for this department and the best decisions for this city that I can. And I am not influenced by anyone, not even the mayor. Okay? And thankfully, she's never put me in that position. Okay? She's never put me in that position because at that moment would be the moment I'd have to resign. Because again, I'm not owned by anybody. We're going to do what we need to do. We're going to investigate crimes. We're going to prosecute criminals. And we're going to try and make the relationship between the community and the police department the best it's ever been. Okay? That's my goal. One of the other things that was stated during this, to further underscore the concerns, a tragic event occurred on December 14, 2022. And I won't name the plant because it's not necessary, but it was a plant over there. And it says, when an individual was shot and killed, the circumstances surrounding this incident are deeply troubling, as someone was arrested and subsequently released after the building's owner allegedly paid a substantial sum to close the case. Okay,
Oh, no, wow.
so,
That's horrible.
so again,
That's horrible.
again, you know, the part that bothers me the most is, I don't know if the victim's family sees any of this. I hope not, because it's garbage. But the truth of the matter is, the individual who was our suspect in that case, to be completely transparent, initially we submitted a warrant request to the prosecutor's office. And I don't know if those of you know how the process works, but we arrest someone for a crime that we suspect, and we present a warrant request to the prosecutor. We have basically 48 to 72 hours to get them charged and get them arraigned, okay? In that time, we submit all the facts. The prosecutor reviews it, they send us something back, either yes, we're gonna prosecute this individual, or no, there's not enough charges there to release it. In this case, initially, the prosecutor denied our warrant request. They claimed as self-defense. However, we contacted the prosecutor and brought to their attention some things that they may have overlooked, which included an interview that we conducted. Okay, and that interview gave us enough evidence to seek charges. So when the prosecutor re-reviewed the case, they ultimately charged the individual with, was it 3 felony counts? Yes. 3 felony counts, okay? So the individual was ultimately released briefly and then re-arrested and arraigned based on those charges, okay? That we have no control over that. As a law enforcement entity, we cannot violate anyone's civil rights, okay? We can't, if we submit charges to the prosecutor's office and for whatever reason, they say there's not enough there, even if in my heart, I believe they did it, doesn't mean anything. I have to let that individual go because I can't violate their rights. The only thing I can do is try and seek more evidence and try and seek justice for the victims, which is what we do. Okay. So again, that statement's untrue. The individual was ultimately charged, and I believe they have a court date coming up in November. That will, for a trial. And whatever the outcome is, the outcome is. But again, we have no control over that as a police department. Our job is to arrest people that we suspect of a crime, provided we have probable cause, not just, mere suspicion that they've done it, because our job's not to violate anyone's right. So there's also one more statement here. It says, it is worth noting that the Detroit Police Department arrived at the scene before Highland Park authorities, and I have attached photographic evidence to support this claim. Okay. The individual who posted this posted no photographic evidence of it, nor could they have, because it doesn't exist.
Right.
And how do I know that? Well, I know that because at this particular plant, we received a call for a disturbance. It was an assault in progress. We actually responded to the assault in progress. While we were on scene, the management determined that they were going to make one individual leave the location. Okay. While that individual, while our victim at the time was being treated by medics, he was released, was walking back to his car, ultimately made a decision to do what he did, and the crime occurred. However, our officers were on scene and heard the gunshot go off and responded immediately. And there's video evidence of that we have and the plant has, which is factual. The officer who was on scene was the first one to tackle the suspect and take him into custody. Now, did Detroit ultimately respond? They responded as mutual aid to assist us. We respond to Detroit sometimes to assist them. It's a great relationship, especially for departments that have limited resources. They help us in time of need and we help them in time of need. Okay? That's perfect. It works out good for us. So that way, at the end of the day, all the officers can go home. So I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent here, and for that I apologize, but I think it's important to be said. I think it's important to be said because, like I said, I talked to these officers. They're angry. They're disgusted. They don't understand why there's a tax on them. For something they've never done. For something that's untrue. You know, and recently, there were statements made regarding another shooting. And, you know, that we took 20 minutes to respond and medics didn't respond. And ultimately, you know, we were able to provide evidence to say that was entirely untrue. Okay. I want to assure the public because I believe there's someone out here or someone's out here that is trying to discredit our police department and make you as citizens lose faith in your police department. And I want to assure you that we have less than a 2-minute response time to any priority run. Okay, now, some things obviously we have to prioritize, okay? You know, if there's something verbal, that may not be a 2-minute response time because we may have to deal with something else. And we don't have 20 officers on the street at one time. So I don't want, you know, I don't want to sit up here, you know, you're like, chief, you said we have less than a 2-minute response time. What I'm talking about is if someone calls and says, listen, I need help. Someone's breaking into my home. Someone's beating me. Someone's shooting. Someone's, you know, someone's trying to rape or whatever it is. That will get an immediate response from us. We will clear from what we are doing and we will go to that first. And we can always go back to the little stuff. But we're not going to leave someone there to be attacked and not respond. Okay. Again, I know I kind of went off from my normal meetings and but I'm very frustrated by some of the things that are being said. Ultimately, I want to have a good relationship with everyone in the community. You know, you guys don't have to like everything I do. I can only tell you in my heart, I believe I'm doing the right thing and I'm going to try to do the right thing. But I'm always going to defend the officers when they're in the right. Okay. And I'll be the first to discipline them when they're in the wrong. And I think we have shown that recently. Anytime, you know, we have a police and fire commission board. That way it's not, you know, we present officers there for discipline and things like that. That way, it's not just my decision. It's a board's decision on what the outcome should be. Okay, because I shouldn't have that much control over everything. Because absolute power corrupts.
Exactly.
Okay. So I like having this board because that way we can all bounce things off each other. And
what he said.
And citizens can say, this is my opinion. You know, of what happened, and maybe we should do this. And, you know, someone with a different background could say, hey, you know, I don't think that's so bad, or, you know, there's been cases where it's worked out. I think the board has worked out. It's been successful. And we also use that board for hiring. That way the board agrees on whom we're going to hire. It's not just Chief McMahon saying, hey, that's his buddy. He hired that guy because he likes him. It's a board of people who say, listen, this guy meets the requirements. And he has the credentials and the training that we're looking for in an officer. And why is that important? That's important so you guys get the best service possible. You guys get the best officers possible. We're not just hiring friends of mine or friends of somebody else. Matter of fact, there's been friends, to be quite honest with you, there's been friends of mine who applied here that I've had to tell them no. Because of issues. You know, does it hurt my feelings? Yeah, I mean, I hate to disappoint people, but ultimately I've been put in this position to do the right thing. And that's what I'm going to do. It just, you know, like I said, nobody owns me. We will do what's right. And if it's something internal, we'll subcontract it out to the state police. We'll subcontract it out to the sheriff's department. That way it's complete transparency. No one will ever accuse us of covering for one of our own. So I want you guys to trust in your department, no matter what other people are saying. All right. Yes, Mary.
I want to say a few words because
Okay.
I'm not gonna take up time, but this is enough.
Mhm.
Enough is enough.
Mhm.
Um, First, let me just say thank you all for coming out again. This vicious attack on the police department, on myself, on others is starting to become a problem. And it's not a problem with me because I know what I do and don't do. It's becoming a problem because when our police arrive on the scene, we don't want them attacked. We do not want them assaulted, anything like that. We don't want them verbally abused based on some frivolous nonsense. Now, I'll say this, the chief knows this from day one when I appointed him. The first thing I said, if my police force is raggedy, you're out here being raggedy, I can't support that. See, I'm not a police officer. I don't have a code. I don't try to uphold whatever code they say it is, because what happens with them happens to me. So when people are accusing me of ignoring things that happened in 2019, I think there was a post about something that happened in 2019. Well, first of all, I wasn't even a mayor.
Right.
Secondly, they said something about strip joints and I'm allowing the strip joints and I'm allowing if anybody go back and look at my record for voting on the city council, they know that I voted not to even have that here.
Yeah.
The whole council voted not to have that here. It was overturned by previous mayor, previous administration. And they had that right. That's what the law says they could do. So it's starting to become a problem because not only do we hear this and see this, people all across the country is seeing this dysfunction. And they're commenting about it. They're calling us clown shows. That's what they call the city council meeting, clown shows. They're calling it all kind of things. We should be focusing on turning the city around, making the connections that we need to make to get the things that we need so that not only our police force, but our fire department, our CED department, all the departments flourish. We can't pick up trash if we don't have any workers. How do we get workers? We need money. How do we get money? By building, by developing. And so when I see those kind of things, because I don't get on there, somebody said it to me, first let me say, if anyone feels like I have done anything wrong that is criminal, please contact the FBI and the state police. Do not call me. Do not put it on Facebook. Go straight to the police so that I can deal with that. I will deal with them. I will not deal with this clown show because it is not necessary. I'm not concerned about the police knocking on my door. I'm not concerned about the state police, the FBI, and anybody else, because I know what I've done and what I have not done. So we're good with that. Just take it. Any information, any evidence, anything that you have and you believe is factual, and let them figure it out. And so my chief, I'm gonna stand behind my chief until my chief become ragged. Then I'm not standing behind him. So that's all I got to say. Stop. These Facebook posts are distractions. They're just distractions. And we're not going to continue to let distractions destroy our city. So if you see it, you want to say something about it, that's you. But please do not bring it to me. Take it to the FBI. Take it to the state police. That's all I got to say. Linda?
Allow us in the room to be the ambassadors for our mayor and the police chief.
And we okay with that.
Allow us to pass the good word, okay?
And
Allow us to
we
be the
appreciate that.
promotion. Allow
Because
us to
at
do
this
that.
point,
Everybody in this room, all residents.
we're
allow us to be
asking
your
for money from
ambassadors.
people who are looking at these things and saying, yeah, no. Yeah, so at this point, We're 9 months into my administration. We just want to keep moving forward. That's it. If you have questions for me, please contact me directly. I don't have a problem with answering anything. I show up, I ask the questions, you do what you want. If you have questions for the chief, once a month, he's right here. Every month. But anything related to the police department, right here. Or you can call it. We're not hiding, running, or doing any of that. Because I don't support that kind of behavior. So whatever they want to do, those people that want to continue this nonsense, that's fine. But we got work to do in this city. We have partnerships. I'm glad to see the superintendent here. The school board, school district, we've been working every month together on trying to see what we can do to bring the school back and partner and create. And she's, like she said, that's something that we need, and that's something that we're doing. We have partnerships with a lot of people that's coming back to the city that said they want to see the city grow. They do not have time for this nonsense. Well, you know what it does? As soon as they see all of this, they're gone. I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know what it's about. I really don't care. What I do know is we're gonna keep fighting until we get the city back, and that's all I got to say about it. I'm sorry. Oh, I got a whole question.
For the chief. I understand your frustration. You try to keep it internal, but you don't want it to build up. And I understand it makes you mad and you don't want to explode like some of us do. You don't want to explode, so my mother always said it goes in one ear and out the other ear. Don't even let it go in the ear, let it go over your head. But a lot of us do understand your frustration. And I'll tell anybody, I don't care if you was black, white, green, or blue, you always respected me. Or if I had a question, you don't say, oh, call me during business hour. So you have that right to be frustrated and to be upset, but don't let that eat you up internally. Because in a minute, it's gonna get to the point where it might be that they want you to quit.
Yeah.
And
We ain't go.
some of us don't want to see that happen.
We don't want that.
Cause I've been in Highland Park a long time. And this is the most interaction I've had with the department in 9 months. So from me personally, don't go nowhere.
That's right.
So we need,
Oh, he not
That's
going.
right.
we need.
We
Yeah,
going
but after a while,
together.
you do get to the point where it's just going home, it's eating you up. Your family, you sitting there focused on what somebody else just said.
Chief,
Hey,
okay.
in the back, you got a question?
Hi, my name is Tammy Stafford, resident of Highland Park, and I was at a meeting last night and we were talking about having a town hall meeting. We was wondering who we needed to contact in order to get that done. Because we've had like one meeting of the pastors and they're having another one, I think it's tomorrow.
This tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're trying to like get pastors, police officers, firefighters, the mayor, the school board, and all of these committees in Highland Park. Like some people been here forever and they don't even know what exactly some of these boards do or whatever. So we're trying to get everybody in the town hall meeting so the residents can ask like different ones of you questions and we can partner to make this city better than what it is. So what I need from police and mayors, like help us out with just like a day, a place, a roster of all of the committees in Highland Park, the boards or whatever, and a day where we can all get together with the citizens.
Okay. Who is we? And,
The residents.
okay, I just want to know, you said we are planning,
Yeah.
and that's in November. This November, twice a year, I have a town hall meeting. We've had one at the first beginning of the year, and I'm planning one for November. Every administrator will be there. I'm inviting also our commissions to be there. And we will be talking about everything that's happened in the last 9 months, except, and I'm gonna say this, except what is going on with the water inside of mediation.
Right.
By law and by order of the court, we cannot discuss that. I know people keep asking me why you ain't talking about the water. Well, when you're under a court order and in mediation, you have to follow the law. And so I am following the law when it comes to that. There are certain things that I can't talk about. As far as we're continuing to fight. We will continue to fight this levy. And we will continue to do what we need to do to make sure that our citizens do not have the brunt of all of that. Now, what I'm not making, please understand, this is not a promise that you won't get a levy because a levy has been ordered. Right now, we're in mediation to see what that looks like. It could mean no, none. It could mean some. We don't know. Until after we finish our mediation and go back into court and they tell us what it is. So I know people are frustrated when they ask, why can't you talk about the water? Because we have been ordered into mediation. And that's court orders. And you don't violate court orders because then you'd be held in contempt of court or fined or anything else. But we are coming together twice a year, which I'm supposed to do and I'm going to do, to make sure that citizens know what's going on in the community and what we are working on. Everybody is invited to that town hall meeting. It will be in the first few weeks of November. We haven't chosen a date yet. So please know it is coming. And we will be right here. Nobody's hiding. The chief will talk about what's going on. The fire department will talk about what's going on. CED, DPW, every water department, what they could talk about and whatever it is that they have. Everybody will be able to present to the citizens what's going on in their department. And you will be able to ask questions. Now, will we be here till midnight? No. I can tell they're gonna be limited to their conversations and we're gonna be limiting the questions to a certain amount of time. So please know, nobody is avoiding anyone. To run the city takes a lot of time. I will be at that meeting tomorrow with the ministers. But I do have 2 meetings and that's the problem with why I haven't been there. We have the citywide block club meeting. And we on Thursdays, right after this, and their meeting. So I'm gonna have to split my time. I see that I'm at the beginning of the agenda, so I'm gonna run and do the beginning and then run over to the block club meeting. Trust me, I do a lot of running around. It might not look like it, I'm still, but I do a lot of running around. So.
And thank you for coming, I'll call you for the resident on Farron Park had the fire. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, Miss Spike White called me and then you called, I'm there. If I can be there, I could be there. Now, I'm not a firefighter, of course, so I'm not running up in no fires. But I will come and try to see what's going on.
And Chief, I wanted to actually like say for instance a resident of Highland Park car was stolen and they called to retrieve their vehicle. Where are the vehicles housed? They don't know, like, where to go.
Well, so that depends where it's recovered. So if it's recovered in the city of Detroit, it would be in one of their impounds. If it's in Southfield, it would be in their impound. If it was recovered in Highland Park, we have a contract with Troy's Towing, so it'd be at Troy's Towing. So it all depends on where it's recovered. However, if a resident reported it stolen from Highland Park, whatever agency recovers it, call us. And it's our job to call the owner and say, your vehicle's been recovered. And hopefully it's in good condition still. And then.
Yeah, I asked that because sometimes people's vehicles are stolen, they get to run around, that's the weird is they call a couple places, and we don't know. Then about time you found it, found out that a bill of $700-800. Times are hard.
No, for sure. And I can tell you that, we've done a lot and our towing contractor has done a lot to reduce fees for people who are struggling. But obviously they're in it, they're running a business too, so we can't take advantage of that, but they have been known to help helps.
As I want to say, can we have like more police presence at the ATMs in the strip mall by audience over there? And cash advance on the other side when the police station is. And like sometimes can they like cruise through where Little Caesars and Burger King used to be? There's a lot of people like selling drugs over there and stuff. And people would be scared to get out their cars, clutching their purse, making them kind of nervous. And at the like gas stations sometimes, because there be people out there asking for money and kind of scared. So I'm not saying that they just have to sit here and post there, but just drive through there.
Yeah, so I mean, we certainly do. We're aware of those spots. I know like the Aldi Plaza is part of our blue light program. So that's actually monitored. We can monitor it from the station. In the event we get some sort of call, we can watch that live. So we've got some more businesses that are getting on board with that. So that'll be helpful to us, in terms of being able to have a live view of what's going on, which will help us respond and hopefully apprehend, more individuals who are causing problems. But yeah, we are aware of those spots, and we do a lot of special attentions there and monitor them, but we unfortunately can't be there 24/7. But we are aware of those spots that they're a problem.
Mary McDonald, when you come to the pastors meetings tomorrow, I'm gonna be at that meeting, so could, we talk for like 2 seconds, because, I have a pastor that wants to, get for city council. I don't know if he's donating, part of those mics, or he's trying to partner up. He wants to talk to somebody about that situation tomorrow.
See that gentleman sitting right there,
Right here.
back here, raise your hand.
Oh,
That's who you would be talking to. That's our IT director.
okay.
Yeah, he would be the person that, see if that's, something that we can do. If he's donating, that's, it has to go to him, and he has to do a resolution and accept them and all that.
Hang on,
Just a quick
she
question.
was next. Go ahead.
It's a quick question, because I was passing out the hand bands.
Mhm.
The flop, that's to help people when their cars are stolen. I want to understand.
Yeah, well, it could be for that or for a wanted vehicle or wanted subject that may be operating that vehicle.
So did they call the police department for help on this program?
As far as what?
If their car was stolen and it was recovered, and because I'm trying to understand how the program works. I'm sorry, I was passing out.
Oh, so basically what that is it's a camera that
Oh,
has a live feed,
it's a camera.
and the camera has the capability of reading hundreds, if not thousands of plates in a relatively small amount of time. And what that does is it processes all the plates. And then immediately, if there's a hit for a wanted vehicle, it sends it to our police department, which gives us a live feed, a photograph of the license plate, as well as notifying the officers in their cars that this vehicle's in this location right now. So it allows us to locate it. And like I said, it's been pretty successful
Sounds like it.
based on our stats. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Greetings, everyone. My name is Dr. Zakia Gibson. I am the superintendent CEO for the school district of the city of Highland Park. Any meeting that I'm joining, I just want to briefly introduce myself, because in a lot of people's minds, I don't exist and the school district doesn't exist. And so we are here, we are growing, we are preparing our schools to educate our children and provide a safe and nurturing environment for them. We are also collaborating with the police department, the mayor's office, to ensure that we are all collectively working on improving the city, improving education, making it a safe and secure place. I definitely will work with the police department directly, because we have students who are involved in living in the city and so forth and so on. We have to keep that relationship bonded to ensure that we're serving our students. So I wanted you all to know that I am here. The Board of Education members are very active in the community. We support one another. And I thank you, Chief, and your team for all of the assistance that you provide with us at Barber Preparatory Academy and with our students and their families. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
I would like to, thank you.
Oh, great question. So if I can address that really
Sure,
quickly, no problem. Thank you for asking that question. So we're going under a renovation of the school. We are replacing the windows, so there'll be new windows and brand new restrooms. The porta potties that we have for our students are not just normal porta potties. They look better than my restroom at home. They're a temporary space while our bathrooms are being renovated. Those bathrooms right now are being made safe and sanitary during the construction process. But we wanted a contingency plan so that if something goes wrong inside of the school, the students do have a restroom to use. We have 2 trailers with approximately 12 units in all of the trailers. It sits right outside the west door of the school. There will be a full tent over the trailers and it's temperature controlled. So it's nothing not nice. It's something all nice for our babies. We took a lot of consideration in making sure that if something happens within the restrooms, then we have an immediate contingency plan. And the school doesn't have to shut down because it's education first. So we do have porta potties, but they are mobile units with several individual stalls in the unit. And I think that we made a great decision along with our Board of Education to purchase or, excuse me, lease those systems during this time of construction. It's very important. But we still have access to floors 1 and 2 in regards to restroom usage. But we have grown from 285 students to 375 students. Have to make improvements to a 100-year-old building that has not been touched in any way in regards to renovation.
Right.
And I think our students deserve better. So I can't do it in the summer. I've got to renovate now or never. So we have to make the accommodations to make sure that our children are safe, secure, sound, and happy. And that's what we're doing. So please pass the word.
Okay, you know they're saying negative stuff.
Listen, come see the porta potty. See me afterwards. I'll show you a picture. It looks like a 5-star hotel.
Yes, it
That's
does.
not just in a regular porta potty. Okay, thank you for the time too.
My question is for the mayor. All the officers stand behind you, chief. And he expressed some frustration. But Mayor, I just want to know if, like, say he fell on the floor or got frustrated and quit, do I get to be?
I know you was gonna say something. Sir, I don't have anything to do with the chain of command. That would call the chief knows what the chain of command is. So, when
Oh,
he's.
Detective Thomas is here.
And I knew
That
this
why
person
you
was
always
about to be
tell me
still-
not to talk when I come here?
Right, and there you go. So, the chain of command falls under the chief of police. Any questions from any of his, members, his team goes to him.
I'll talk
And then
to
he
him.
comes to me, so don't you have to go to.
By that time, I'll be rolling up to be chief.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why-
He's not allowed to stand behind me.
Yeah, right.
I know it's
He
more.
always got something.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Michelle Wyckoff. I'm a lifer Highland Park, California Street.
I'm aware, I was made aware of your situation today.
Okay, good, because I would like to talk to you afterwards. But I am not that active on Facebook, so all these things you all are speaking on.
Good for you. Yeah, don't.
But I would say this is when my parents was alive, they always, my mom in particular would say, you treat it like water trickling off a duck's back. You just roll on.
She didn't say it quite that nice, you know.
Yes, she did. She was a Christian woman.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's
Just say it that
enough.
nice.
Right.
But I would say to you, to Highland Park as a whole, I think that needs to be done. Another thing is that this is the first time I am aware of these meetings. So because I'm not active on Facebook, how am I able to know or find out how often or when these meetings occur?
So. Our IT team, Ms. Lakeisha Brown, my PR person, she produces flyers that goes to your block club president every month. I don't know if they're being passed out or not. Obviously, I don't, if they're not doing it, but You can also sign up if you have an email.
Mhm.
You can sign up through email
Okay.
and then she, what is.
Sign up what, through what, where?
You can, with me, you
You
can,
give her your email,
Okay.
she'll make sure she.
Yeah.
Okay,
or you can give it to, IT person.
okay,
And they put it in and it comes straight to your email. Any information that is put out, everything that's put out will come straight to you.
okay.
Yep, and
I
that way.
appreciate that.
We are working to communicate a lot better, and we know that everybody is not on Facebook or not computer literate. So what we do is we produce flyers too. Anytime you're near City Hall,
Mhm.
at the front desk,
I'm right down the street.
at the front desk,
Okay,
all you have to do is just walk in the front desk. All those flyers are sitting right there.
okay.
Get
And
one.
does it have like a list of your dates or, okay? It's just a month a month.
We have a calendar once a month.
Okay,
Along with flyers that go along with some of those things in the calendar. These are standard meetings.
okay,
Fourth Thursday of every month unless it's canceled.
okay.
It's chat with the chief. Fourth Wednesday, and your street is not. I know that your president doesn't get off enough time to get to the Highland Park Citywide Block Club Association,
Mhm.
which is held every fourth Wednesday
Okay,
of every, I'm
Thursday.
Thursday, I'm going back.
Thursday.
First Wednesday,
Is the
today
chief.
is Wednesday, and then tomorrow is Thursday.
Mhm.
And that's held at the fire department at 6 o'clock.
okay,
And like I said, California is not, no one has been able to represent. So anyone that can come and represent your block, you get all the information for them. Your president, she came when we first started,
Mhm.
but it's hard to her to get there because she gets off of work a little later.
Mhm.
And so, and her,
Well, I'm not looking to be a representative.
okay, well,
You don't have to
somebody,
represent, but just come and get the information for yourself.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
so,
I can
and
do that.
even if you're not, we have, Ms. Butler. Lisa Butler is the president of your block club.
Okay,
And so she can assign someone to
Mhm.
just be the representative because we're trying to get every block club
mhm,
to the meetings.
mhm.
And that it also helps, and this is a police thing, so I want to talk about that. Every block club that's active helps the police.
Mhm.
Because if they see something, somebody can call quickly. They can activate. And so that way,
Well, I know when I need to call, I feel like y'all coming out my backyard. That's how I feel as a response. So I mean, the response is amazing. And I tell anybody that Highland Park police
Yeah.
response is like the suburbs.
we have 2.9
So-
square miles. It shouldn't be no longer than 2 minutes in the first place. So thank you for that. We appreciate that. But
Yeah.
again, all of these meetings, every meeting, the city council, everything is on that calendar
Mhm.
that we put out every
Okay.
month. You
Okay.
can pick one up at the front desk at the beginning of the month. They usually downstairs.
Coming out soon.
It's the second Wednesday of every month. It's called Coffee and Conversation
Oh, okay.
at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, okay.
Every Wednesday, you have one at 10 o'clock and we have one at 5 o'clock in the evening,
Oh, okay.
just so
Okay.
everybody can.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Chief wrap it up.
All right, there was one other thing I forgot to mention regarding Youth Connection. We will be installing a box here. We'll be in partnership with the Youth Connection, the DEA, and some other people. In this box, what it is, if you have unused prescription drugs, things like that, you can bring them here and put them in this box. And then ultimately, the DEA will come and dispose. And that way we can, that way these unused medications, or some people have medication 20 years ago. I know my grandma, she saves everything, she's got, you open her cabinet, there's stuff everywhere now. So a lot of that stuff is garbage anyway, rather than disposing of it, in the sewers where it contaminates our water, or, in the landfills and things like that. Bring it here so it gets properly disposed of. And it's no questions asked. We're not gonna be asking for your ID or going through your wallet or your purse or whatever, what are you turning in? It's nothing like that. It's simply to get unused drugs off the street, so and out of your house, so kids, don't get them. And we just don't need that, so. Yes,
I just wanted to ask a question. I'm not on Facebook a lot, but I briefly saw you cooking hot dogs.
I was grilling.
All around the place.
Me and Lakeisha, we were on the grill. She showed me. she showed me her ways, so I followed.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you.
It was
Yeah.
good. We had fun. Kids had
These
fun.
chief cooks.
Yeah, yeah.
You got a good time at the youth, it was the youth explosion. Yeah, and he passed out a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah, yeah, it worked out. Yeah, I thought we had a great time. We had some live music. We had DJ Lackey back there. Yeah.
On the ones and twos.
So, it was a good time. I thought we had fun. We had some great weather for it, so worked out good. Not so great a weather right now from what I'm hearing, so hope you guys brought your umbrella.
Oh, it's raining. It's raining.
All right, so some of the feedback from the other meetings was, they lasted too long, so I'm not gonna be long winded. I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. All right, good night. Thank you, everyone. for coming. I appreciate it.
We get it right.
Let me get on
Us.
What I. Yeah.